Goranga. 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 Okay, last two. Goranga. Goranga. Okay, so have a moment of silence and just feel Goranga vibrating, radiating, shining in your heart and in your mind. Inhale and then exhale. This time we're going to have a music meditation using the same mantra, Goranga. So we are going to listen to Thomas first, and then after that, we are going to respond. So whatever is his tune, we're just going to follow or copy. Okay, our turn. moment of silence again. And this time, let us take this opportunity to speak with the Supreme Lord with our prayers, with your personal prayer. Can be as simple as, "Oh Lord, O energy of the Lord, please, please allow us to render loving service unto you. O Lord, Almighty Lord, please grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen." All right. Okay, so it seems that knowing the purpose is not is not that popular. But it's okay. Thank you very much for those who want to know again and how to actually achieve our purpose in life. And that is to share and how to share. Of course, as teachers, you may know already the purpose of life, but of our existence, and you want to know how we can actually share this with others, with our students, with, if you are mothers, yes, happy Mother's Day. The real mother is actually, the mother is someone who's really
Sunday, yes.
yeah, Sunday. It's like they're so it's kind of like unselfish. They're so caring, nurturing. Yeah, that's the word. When we hear the word mother, it comes. What comes to our mind immediately is nurture. It's like Mother Nature who really nurtures us. Okay, so for today's topic, have a meaningful and purposeful existence. We got 5 questions. Number 1 is, how does a leader drive his own life? So, but the thing is, we have to make sure also that we are in our meaning of life is the real meaning of life. Because for most, when you say, what is life? It's actually just between birth and death.
Of the body.
Of the body. So even the conception, even the mother, there's life. It's there. There's already life exists. There's already a soul, because life is actually the spirit soul. So we are all life. Okay, so that is why when we get out of this gross body with this body, the body is already considered as dead. That's the last label. Kind of like when we took birth in this body, we got many labels. So like, the names that are given by names. Because for example, for me alone, I have three first name. I mean the legal name, 3 legal names. So, well, actually, maybe it's the same then, diba? Kind of like Thomas Frank. So it's the same thing with others. It's even in the Philippines, we got that, of course, many names, first name. And then the last label, of course, you got this. You got the in beside or at the end, for those who have their post-grad, their educational, they have the MD. They have, if they have the masteral, they can have the MED. Or for the nurses, they have the RN, registered nurse, you have RN. So anyway, so all of those titles and labels. And then at the end, you just got that for the body, it's just dead. But of course, we are not those labels. We are actually the spiritual being, the life force. And we are eternal. We are spiritual. I heard this from Mom Serafina, who once said that we are spiritual entities. in a human journey. So we are so fortunate to have this human form of life, and we have to take it. And for most, unfortunately, are just taking this for granted. They're not doing what is a human being should be doing. Okay? So a true leader exists or drives his existence with a deep purpose of serving God and God's children. A real leader knows who he
Who he really is.
really is.
So there are actually three
Three
parts.
parts, okay.
Three parts of this spiritual identity, and the first one is the essence. Yeah, what are we made of? And so, is it spiritual or is it material? And of course, as we have already explained, and if you analyze it very thoroughly, you can see we are actually of a different energy altogether. The spirit soul is not material, it's not temporary, but we are spiritual in essence, and we are now on a human journey. We are basically traveling in a temporary human body. So, but our essence, our eternal essence, is spiritual. We will always continue to exist. We will always be a small part and particle of the Supreme Lord. So, but our position, yeah. So some people, they say, oh, so we are spirit. Wow, are we the Supreme Spirit? And if we analyze that carefully,
No.
of course, we're not all powerful. So many things are controlling us. And we are actually said to be a dominated part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. But that is not meant to be in a negative way. Dominate can also be full of love and care. Yeah? After all, parents dominate their children, don't they? So they have dominion over them, but that can be an expression of love and care. So
When we say actually dominion, it's more of love and care, right? So it's not dominion to be abusive,
not exploit.
not to exploit
Yes.
our kids, right? So it's a love and care.
So our position is that we are a small, we're the same essence as the Supreme Lord, but we're the same in quality, but not the same in quantity. We're like a tiny little, particle, whereas the Supreme Lord is basically without any limits. So then we have the question, the most important and practical question really is the third part of our identity. What should be our function? And of course, if people identify themselves as their temporary mature body, they try to bring pleasure to the body and the mind. But we have already established that we are eternal spiritual beings. So then our real function, our natural original function, is that we serve out of love. That just like a child wants to render some loving service to the parent, so hopefully that is still the case in most families these days. So that is our natural function. So that is, and so basically, for a person who wants to be in a loving relationship with the Supreme Lord, they know that serving and pleasing Him is our only real meaningful purpose in life.
Yeah, so actually right now you can hear a bird over here. It's like the bird accidentally came to our room
And doesn't know how to get out.
and doesn't know how to get out. The bird knows his goal is actually to get out, right? We can hear other birds chirping. Okay, come now, get out from there. And he said, yes, I want to get out. So he has the goal. The bird has the goal. But the thing is,
He's confused.
Very
little baby bird, I think it is.
He doesn't know where to go. And we're trying to actually, but he's kind of like so delicate.
And he's high up
He's
there.
high up there.
So,
So it's like, it's so hard to, because the ceiling is kind of high.
so please excuse the
Uh,
chirping, but he's part of the webinar today.
yes, he's our background music. But that's actually could be like us. So we might, you may know that now the goal, right?
We're off our, but we're here out of our natural environment.
Yeah, you mean okay, we kind of like be okay, we want to be pleasing to the Supreme Lord, and because it's, you said earlier that it's our function, it's our natural function. So we said Thomas said earlier, our essence, position, and then function, that is to be loving servants of the Supreme Lord. But how can we serve the Supreme Lord? Of course, the first thing that we have to do, there are two things that we have to do, is in every day in our life, we have to reestablish our relationship with the Supreme Lord. So what do you say, kind of like, what is this? What is this? Is this kind of like a religious thing or what? This is a spirituality. Whatever is your faith, your sect that you are following, as long as you are actually developing a personal, we say it as personal, loving relationship with the Supreme Lord, go for it, right?
It's actually the most natural thing for every living being, whether they believe in it or not. You know, we are eternally connected to the Supreme Lord, but we have forgotten, yeah?
Yeah.
So when a person comes into this material dimension, it's basically like we are trying to live out a fantasy here in this material world. And so then when we explain that we have a very real eternal connection with the Supreme Lord, then some people think that we believe in fantasies, but
Yeah.
we know it's a truth, and we know we need to act on the truth.
Yes, so that's the thing. So that alone, having that desire to reestablish our relationship with Him, with the Supreme Lord, that already pleases Him. Wow. Yeah. So just, I mean, you can feel it, right? So when someone is actually trying to be near you, you know, so that also pleases you. When someone wants to be pleasing to you, it pleases you, right?
And it is said the Supreme Lord is so pleased that when anyone just makes a small effort and takes one step towards Him, He takes like 1,000 steps towards them.
Yeah, thousands, thousand reasons.
So,
Yes, 1,000 steps, just for one step, one baby step. Just one of our baby step, and he is kind of like giant, 1,000 giant steps toward us. Of course, we cannot measure that. Okay, next one, the second one is help others in help others in also reestablishing their relationship with the Supreme Lord. This is also the greatest service. This is the greatest purpose. And whoever is doing this in one way or another, in his or her own little way, is indeed a real great leader. So, are you a leader now? You are. We are, right? So even though it could be just having our baby or our little kid, you know, okay, so just pray. I can remember that when my Lola, my grandmother, we should always, it's like, my God, my grandmother, 6, 12, and 6. Those are the numbers. 6 in the morning, 12 noon, and 6 in the evening. It's like she had to pray. Okay, it's like it is her prayer time. And she would ask me, she would invite us, come, let's pray, let's pray. Let's play. And we were playing. We just want to play, not to pray. I was like, no, you can continue playing later. Just pray first, you know. You can also pray and play with the Lord. Okay, so that's the thing. So having a personal relationship with the, so that too pleases the Supreme Lord. Okay, so and that makes you actually a real leader. So as parents, you are leaders of your kids. If you are leading them to a God-centered or God-loving existence, you are a real great leader. And actually, you you achieved the greatest purpose or the greatest goal of a parent, that you actually lead your kids to be loving servants of the Supreme Lord. Okay, the next one. What is a purposeful life? So what is the meaning of living a purposeful life? So there could be many of this, like, huh? What? A purposeful life is when you are moving towards, this is actually, you will know where it is, towards a big goal in your life that aligns with your values, passions, and makes you happy. This is harder than it sounds because finding your purpose in life is not always easy. Excuse me, that is not from my, that is not from our definition. That's not from the ancient wisdom. I'm just sharing it with you. This is actually from Mr. Google. I just read it.
I was a little bit surprised, actually.
You were kind of like, what's that? Sounds like wrong. Yes, it is kind of like, this is from Mr. Google. So we have to be very critical. We have to be very analytical and not just be, you kind of like, oh, okay, that's it, copy, paste. When I was a professor or instructor, we kind of like, I know when my students are just copy pasting. It's like, sounds familiar. I think this is from Mr. Google. You know what? You have to really, and I told them, and they were laughing. When I told them, you know what? Whatever your parents are doing, you have to be very respectful to them because they graduated from school without Mr. Google. And they were kind of like, they were kind of like laughing,
Yeah.
laughing so much because right now that's what's the trend, yeah. So when you want to know something, go to the internet and find Mr. Google. Okay, let us actually dissect and analyze this from Google, but because I'm sure many people are actually going there and find out what is the purpose of my life.
Well, there's so many different opinions, of course.
If you're going to even search in YouTube, right?
So-
Purpose of life. Oh my God, there will be 1 million viewers, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oops, what is this? Okay, let us analyze this. So maybe you can see, as teachers, you can see, you can watch, but we have to be analyzed. This is something that we have to teach to our students, how to be critical minded, how to be kind of like analyze, always analyze, not just, okay, accept.
Yeah, we need to know why we're doing something, and we need to know if it is actually
Correct?
correct. Yeah, if it is pleasing to the Supreme Lord. That's really
Yeah.
important.
Okay, so let us, with those statements, so let us have, now there are 4 of them that we have to check or to correct. So number 1, life is not between birth and death, as we said earlier. Life is not the series of life is not the series of events, nor the journey. As we have said, we are spiritual being and we are the life. Okay. Next one is number 2. Yes, it is a big goal indeed. It is a great challenge to know and understand the wisdom that we are eternal spiritual souls, that we are loving servants of the Supreme Lord. That knowing alone this ancient wisdom is actually a big challenge. But it is a much greater challenge to act on this wisdom, much just like what you said earlier. To act on this wisdom is so challenging, right? So yeah, it's hard. But because when we are having this, when we are acting on this wisdom that we are spiritual beings, that we are loving servants of the Supreme Lord, this is actually the greatest goal, and if you are doing this, that makes our existence meaningful and purposeful. Okay, next one, number 3 of this statement of the statement of Mr. Google. So instead of just being aligned, she said aligned. It should be aligned with our values, passion, and so-called happiness. They don't even know what is happiness. Sometimes they just have the dopamine rush. That's all. They already consider that as happiness. So it's just like if you are a cigarette if you are a cigarette smoker, then smoking cigarette is already your happiness. It's already your hope, and it's already your champion. Those are actually the brands in the Philippines, the champion and the hope. I just don't know now what are the brands. Marlboro. The other one, when I was growing, Marlboro, something like that. But
Yeah,
those
from the
are,
US,
okay. So, but actually, those are not the one, the values, the passion, because your passion can be, it keeps on changing. Those are the things that keeps on changing. For the happiness, you have to have the real definition of what really makes you happy, which we're gonna be dealing up a bit later. So the real purposeful life is when we are actually dovetailing our values, our passion, and even our happiness, the search, the desire for happiness to the pleasure or with the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Like, what? Where is me? Where is I? Where is mine? Because we are used to I, me, mine. My values, my happiness. This is mine. They are mine. Right? But right now, it's like, what? A purposeful life is dovetailing everything with the Supreme Lord? OMG! Like, what?
we may think we're going to lose something that we currently have. Yes, something material.
Yeah.
But actually, we're gaining everything spiritually. We're gaining the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, and He is a most amazing person, full of love and wealth and everything that we can possibly wish for. And we are rightful sharers of this. He wants to give and share to us, you know. So, but we have to be in the right function, in the right consciousness.
Yes, in the right consciousness. Okay, number 4 that we noticed from those statements of Mr. Google. 4th is, it is not hard. Because he said, it might be hard to find the purpose of life. It is not actually hard to live a purposeful existence if and only if we have the humility, the sincerity, and the faith to follow the footsteps of the saints and the sages, bona fide saints and bona fide spiritual guides who are teachers by examples, who are really lovers of the Supreme Lord. Okay, so they are already laid to us. I mean, Jesus Christ, the 10 Commandments alone, everything's there. Number 1, number 2. That makes us if we are just going to follow the 10 Commandments, that makes our life meaningful, our existence meaningful and purpose-driven, the right purpose.
So here we are already entering a different world, because most people, when they wake up, they think, what will make me happy today?
A cup of coffee.
And so we're always thinking about ourselves and what we think is ourselves, which is just basically what will stimulate my body and my mind. And, and so we're always struggling to find that which will give us some pleasure, but it doesn't really last and it doesn't give us real meaningful happiness. But now we're moving into the spiritual realm where we
are not the center.
We're not the center. We're actually not thinking of ourselves all the time, but rather we are now thinking of how we can coexist and serve and please the Supreme Lord and all of his children. And that will give us real spiritual happiness. It is, unless a person experiences that, they don't know what they're missing out. It is vastly greater than anything that we can experience, with our body and mind here in this material world.
Okay, so that's it. So sorry, Mr. Google. We have to scrutinize your statement about purposeful life. It's so dangerous, actually, that it's kind of like billions already read your meaning of purposeful life. But this is the one. So if you got your students or your pupils, your patients, so teach them this one. What is a purposeful life? Okay? So next is, what does it mean to live a meaningful life? We keep on saying about that. So a meaningful life is not being materially abundant, not just being popular, being highly educated, or being perfect. It's about being real, being humble, being able to share ourselves and touch the lives of others. So in other words, we can actually be a rainbow. So there is actually, yes,
There was two of them.
yeah. Oh my God, I just want to tell you, excuse me, about a story. The bird already got out.
With the help of another bird.
You know what? One bird came in and that bird guided the other bird who was been stuck here for a long, long time. For how many hours? 3 hours?
No, but 6 hours.
6 hours already. And we're kind of like, okay, here's the water.
And in less than an hour, it will get dark and we have to close the doors. And
yeah, and he doesn't want to get down because he's kind of like afraid. So see, that's the thing. The one bird kind of like sacrificed. He might not know how to get out, right? But maybe he's one of the, as we've said earlier, life is actually, our existence could be easy if we're following a pure, a bona fide spiritual guide, right?
Yeah, we need some help.
And help. So that bird could be the guide. He just come here. This is the way. It's a big door over here.
It reminds me of like children getting stuck in a cave here, and you sending somebody in the cave to try to get the children out. So anyway, so there was a smart bird who knew how to.
That was a bona fide,
a bona
fide guide.
Yes.
A bona fide guide. So not another blind bird, or else it will be kind of like. And all of a sudden we got what? We got a nest here already.
We got 10 birds here.
You have 10 birds and they don't know how to get out. Okay, so thank you very much. Actually, that's the thing. There was a story, an athlete actually. So it's kind of like racing, right? Kind of a running thing. So they got this competition. Okay, so he got the medal. So he got, wow, I'm the first. And then the audience, of course, applause. And then he got okay, go another one. So there's another set of people, of kids who would compete with him. And again, he's again the winner. So he's really a winner, right? So a champion in running. Then again, I said, okay. Another person said, okay, go now. This is already your third, kind of like third session. But this time, he got the competitors are kind of like one blind and one who's kind of like limping. So having a wound or couldn't run properly. And then, okay, so of course the blind they were just in the big start because they cannot run properly. And of course that boy was able to finish, right? And then he was able to finish, and in other words, he's the champion again. But no one in the audience clapped. It's kind of like so silent. It's like, well, I'm the champion, I'm the champion. But no one was actually clapping. Kind of like,
It was not a fair contest.
and then he went to the coach. Coach, how come I'm the winner but no one is clapping and there's no medal? How come there's no medal? And he said, the coach said, okay, go back, go to those two competitors that you have, and then find out how. Just do what is in your mind. And then all of a sudden, this boy kind of like, okay. So what he did, he actually accompanied the two. And they too finished the race. I mean, the three of them. And the audience kind of like standing ovation. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, yes, very nice example.
So what is it? Why? and then the audience were like, yes, you're the real winner. Yes, you're the winner.
So this is like what it's like in material life many times, a person who's very self-centered, they just want to get ahead. They want to get everything for themselves, but they don't care if other people will be left behind, if they suffer, and this is a sad thing.
And this is actually the real leader. It's actually an example of a leader. It's kind of like not going ahead and being afraid that, I should not teach my subordinates, So kind of like, because this is my secret. You're always fearful that if you're going to teach them the ways, the tricks and the ways, the strategies, they will be ahead of you and you will not be the dean anymore. That's the fear, right? So if you're not, but it's not being a leader. A leader is you're going to be kind of like, okay, so what do you need? How can I help you? So let's go do these things together. And this is actually when you extend. You're not focusing on yourself, on how to, as Thomas says, to get ahead. Okay, so meaningfulness was actually linked to doing things that express and reflect the self, and in particular to doing positive things, not just for ourselves, but actually for others. Okay, which automatically makes us happy. In fact, even if we don't desire to be happy, this is the what do you call that? Kind of like we don't desire, we don't want to be happy, but we automatically become happy when we are helping others, right? Even if we don't desire to be happy or be rewarded by our good deeds, it is automatic that we become happy. It's not like, why? Why is it? It's kind of like magic. I had Mama Angelita saying the magic of love.
Yeah, it's in
the
harmony.
Magic of happiness.
It's in harmony with our eternal function.
That's yes, because we are in the third function earlier, right? The third function that we are loving servants of the Supreme Lord. So why? So when we are actually helping others, especially in reestablishing their relationship with the Supreme Lord, then we are actually pleasing God. And when we are pleasing God, it is automatic, even though we don't desire it, it is automatic that we will feel this happiness. And this happiness is just like dopamine rush. It's not just stimulation of something. Okay, because it is from our core of our hearts. We can feel it. Okay, number 4. We're already in the fourth
question.
Fourth question. How come that the lack of real direction, purpose, and meaning in people's lives can cause great stress, anxiety, depression, and unhappiness in society? Why?
Well, this is a big question.
In other words, if most people will just be self-centered, then you can feel that there's a limbo. It's kind of like there's a cloud, a dark cloud.
It's not the real purpose.
Mental illnesses, anxieties, depressions, and everything negative. A cloud of negativeness.
Yeah, and we can really see how that is manifesting in the world.
Mm.
Not just only now, but also over the last few decades.
Yeah.
You know, it's basically when people pursue a path and a purpose that they think will make them happy, but it does not, then of course, they're going to be unhappy. They're going to be wondering what's wrong. And very few people come to realize actually that this is not the right
Mm.
path to happiness. You know, because sometimes people feel, well, if I don't take care of myself, if I don't look out for myself, who is going to do it, right? And so we don't understand the Supreme Lord is always there, willing to give great happiness to everyone who wants to live in a pleasing way to Him.
Yeah. So, in other words, actually, if you are not in harmony with our essence, our position, and our function, definitely we will be just like fish out of water. That fish can be in a paradise. That fish can have all the stimulations in life, got lots of money, that what's just one, the sex, or in other words, full but empty, feeling empty inside. So, and this will actually lead to all sorts of not just actually mental illnesses, but actually spiritual emptiness, right? That where am I? What is this? Nervous breakdown. Actually, when you are in that point, in the nervous breakdown, and you ask, why am I feeling empty? I got everything.
Yeah, this is really
It's
this is
kind of
really
like,
this
yes, go back to the ocean.
and,
You are a fish.
and this is really the solution to so many of the problems that we hear about
Encountering.
and see nowadays, especially, you know, where people are feeling depressed and hopeless and even suicidal. They don't have any purpose or meaning in their lives. And if you know such people, then basically, in a very gentle and caring way, we should try to communicate to them, you're just thinking about yourself. This is a problem. You should care about other people. There are a lot of people who have it worse than you, and when we don't care for others, then we're gonna we missed our real purpose and meaning in life, because somebody who wants to be assisting and helping and caring for others, they will always have a purpose and meaning in life. It doesn't matter what is happening externally on this planet, you know, if things are going fine or not so fine, there's always a purpose, because there's always people who are going to be in need of help.
Yeah. So, in other words, actually, if we are in that point, yeah, for example, if we are the one having this lowest point in our life, the drive should always be to, with the help of the Supreme Lord, to be able to move on, right? So, and of course, if other, then we have to be of help.
And it's very healing too,
Healing, yeah.
when we engage in any kind of service, and especially if we're practicing this mantra meditation too, it heals our hearts and minds.
Yeah. It's so funny, as I've said, when I was so stressed out, it's kind of like low, very low, because of what happened, and then being invited to kind of like stress management, depression, and everything. It's like, what? I kind of like testimonial here. But I think I become effective because you feel it, right? You feel already of being in anxiety, in a stress situation. So you become kind of like, yes, I feel it, and I'm able to get out from it. Yes, I was down, but with the help, with the grace of the people around me, of course, who love me, and of course the Supreme Lord, then yes, we're able to be out of that dark tunnel.
Very
Okay,
good.
number 5. How can we make use of our precious, priceless human existence meaningful and purposeful? There are 4 of them. Look on how we spend our every second, our every minute, our every hours, and our every day. In other words, look what are we doing with our 24 hours. Okay?
Time is very precious. It is
So,
limited
yes.
and it will never come back.
Is it in accordance to what we said earlier, to who we really are as spiritual, loving servants of the Supreme Lord? How far are we out of 10? Make a number of it. Out of 10 as a perfect, where are we? Are we in the 2, 3, 5, 7? Kind of like, whoa, I'm so, no. Okay, next is, you will know of those 24 hours, how many times do we remember the Supreme Lord? Or how many times we pray? How many times we actually share or
How much
offer?
time? How much time do I spend really
Doing for others?
in activities that are pleasing to Him? And how much time do I still spend with activities that are pleasing to myself?
Only, and then pleasing to myself, that is actually degrading myself.
And so this is,
Our consciousness.
we may all have certain types of habits that are not the best for us, and this is not to put anyone down or anything, but it's just for introspection. Everybody just look at our own personal choices, how we live our lives, and then we can try to make improvements.
Yes.
So
Okay, number 2, actually, yes, the time, and then our daily routines. So that's also the thing that we have to look. And then look at our relationships. How do we deal with other people? Is it with utilitarian? It's kind of like, okay, you're good to me. Yes, yeah, we are friends because I can use you. Or it is something like giving, caring, loving, even though you're not expecting anything in return. That thing is actually pleasing to the Supreme Lord, right? So if you are just doing with compassion. Okay, next one is, of course, our relationship with the Supreme Lord. How is it? Hello, right? With our family and friends. So how are we dealing with them? And next, of course, number 4 is what is our desires? Look at our desires. Are they more of the material or of the spiritual? Because they are actually opposite from each other, right? So they said, when your material desires decreases, your spiritual desire actually increases. So
material desires are for temporary things or experiences, whereas spiritual is for eternality.
yes. Okay. In this prayer, actually, that I would like to share with you, this is a prayer of a leader, of a real leader. Okay. So it is, O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women or handsome men, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your costless devotional service into my life, birth after birth. So, no desire to accumulate wealth. So, no question if that leader, no question of corruption, no, of graft and corruption, because he just wants to serve the people, serve the Supreme Lord.
No question of prostitutes.
Of course, yes, but no desire of beautiful women or kind of like handsome men. So no, the marital relationship. If you are married, so it's kind of like a sacred, right? So you will not be looking for, okay, he's a good material. She's sexy or beautiful. And then the next one is followers. Because the tendency is, instead of doing the righteous one, actually it's sometimes the so-called followers are the businessmen or whatever, or kind of like, oh, you have to make, in the Philippines we call it a sip-sip, elbow to elbow with this person, so you can go ahead, you can have a higher position. So
Yeah, basically, a real leader will never compromise their
The
values
values,
and
the
the
virtues.
teaching, just in order to try to please certain followers and maybe get
Mhm.
something from them, like some money or, so that's always a very sad situation when that happens.
All right, so to the end, in our education institutions, we need to teach kids how to live a purposeful and meaningful life. So it's like at the very beginning, and that is actually what is again a purposeful life or a meaningful life. It is as simple as uh, being in harmony with who we really are as diamonds, spiritual beings, loving servants of the Supreme Lord. So that's it. I can remember my uncle who is actually in Mindanao, a judge. Uh, in his decision making, since he's practicing Islam, he has the Quran as a basis of his decision, right? Or you can have my aunt, who was actually a lawyer. Every day, he would also read the what's this one? The Bible. So it's like in the court, or in the court, yeah, in the court, you would hear, because I was kind of like I was kind of like her assistant. At the court, you will hear her uh, saying some passages from the Bible. And I got also a friend who's practicing Hinduism. This things about Supreme Lord, Supreme Lord. And so whatever you're practicing, that is what is actually the very important thing, is you yourself is developing a loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. It's not a group thing. It's not an organizational thing. Us, ourselves. Okay, so with that, let us have again, thank you very much. So there are many sharing here. Sharing the God's word, help people in time of needs. Yes, Merly Ilagan, that's very true.
Spiritual desire is the best, better than material desire. Very good.
Correct. Okay, thank you. Ma'am Serafina, always remember that God's ways is better than our ways. Yes, you said it's right. Thy will be done. If you are in a kind of like, what is this? Okay, thy will be done. God's ways be done. Yeah. Thank you.
Love others as how you love. Marilu in Facebook, the bird in, or no, just establishing a good. Sorry, the comments keep going in and out of our screen here, so we cannot read the Facebook ones easily.
I'm sorry. Okay, so thank you very much. So we just have to have a very short meditation again, just to end, to wrap up everything. I'm sure I'm just gonna share here. Maybe Jerome has something to say here. So I can just read that later. Thank you, Jerome, Serafina. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. God keeps his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Yes.
you very
Thank you
much.
very much.